So we are going to make solar LED swamp lanterns.
Ooh.
Okay. So what you're going to need, and there's a list of materials on the bottom of the video there. You will need solar LED jars from Amazon, and they have the little LED in there, and the little battery thing you pull out later. Comes with a jar, and it also comes with a hanger. The hanger can be optional. We're going to take it apart, but you can use it as is as well. But we're going to make our own hangers for these. So what you're also going to need is you're going to need some jute twine. There's a specific size that you can use your own size with that as well. You're going to need school glue, white glue, and you need a paper plate. Maybe get those little ones. And you're going to need a hot glue gun. And you're going to need scissors. And you're going to need creepy cloth of your choice of colors. Amazon sells lots of different colors. Off-white. And these darker, the darker colors you're going to want to do thinner amounts of. The the off-white, maybe the green, you would want to do 2 layers of. We're going to use either orange or purple today. So you have your creepy cloth as well, and you will need paper towels, glue sticks for your hot glue gun, and scissors. And like a pair of pliers or something like that. These are a little overkill, but it's the only ones I can grab right now. So the first thing you'll want to do is take apart your solar lantern. Take it apart. And you can take the little solar part out of it. You just set that aside. And you will now have just your lantern or your jar and your lid. In your little paper plate. I need to make sure this is open because I don't know if it's... Oh, no, it's ready to go. Okay. Take your white glue and just make a little puddle of it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a paper towel and you're going to fold it up with like the design, the rough stuff outward. So you can fold it into a bunch of different pieces like this. And all you're going to do is you're going to take your jar, put your fingers in there like that so you can hold it. Dab the glue onto the paper towel. And then what you're going to do is you're going to it's kind of like a dry brushing technique. You're not necessarily going to take all of the glue. You don't want like a big old blob of it. But you can spread it around. So then what you do is you take the glue and you just dab it all over the glass. You're basically just going to cover it and get some more. So you don't want to do too much white. You don't want it to be super white. But basically what you're doing is you're diffusing it even more than what the factory did on it. And I get the bottom as well. If you really want the light to shine out of the bottom, then don't put a ton down there. But it's diffused anyway, so it's not too big of a deal. But it looks like it's clear now, but when it dries, it'll have a little bit of a white sheen. And this also helps the creepy cloth stay on it too. So, you don't have to go above the rim, you just have to go where the design is, and this also helps hide the design a little bit. It doesn't look like So, now you're done with that, wipe your hands off, because your hands probably have glue on it now. And if you're doing this on an outside thing, then you can, it will dry anyways. So, now you have this like this, and you're going to set that aside for a minute. And you're going to take the creepy cloth and unfold it lengthwise. Basically, if you take a bunch, if you get a whole thing of the creepy cloth, you should be able to make several of these lantern wishes. unfold it so it's a single width. Jute Twine away from me. So this is where your personal preference will come in of how far you want your cloth to hang down from the bottom, from the lantern. So if you think about it, you have your lantern up here on the ridge. You can see how you have all this down here. This is where you'll be able to say, well, I want some short ones and I want some longer ones, things like that. So if you're going to do a bunch of these, then have different lengths of the creepy cloth. And the width is perfect, especially for the lighter colors like the orange. For the purple or black or brown or something like that, you'll want to start in the corner when you're rolling it, and maybe only go about, maybe only go one time around, so you don't use about half. But for the lighter colors, because of how spread out the fabric is and how light the color is, I'm going to probably wrap this twice. So I'm going to use this entire width, and I'm going to basically go down to right about here. So you take your scissors, and you cut to the length you want your thing to be. Ta-da. And now, I've got enough for probably at least 2 or 3 more jars out of that one piece of creepy cloth, and probably more if you want to make different lengths, obviously. So when you're done rolling it, that's when you'll cut this bottom part up to make it different heights. Once you've gotten it rolled around, because then you can actually look at it and go, oh, okay, I want, just kind of cutting different sections of it. So once your hot glue is ready to go, take a little bit of hot glue and right on the ridge there underneath the lip. So you hold it like this and just put a little, couple of things of glue. So you don't really have to put a lot of glue on this because you're just using it to adhere to the cloth. The white glue is still wet as well. So just put a couple of dots, a couple of little strands of glue around the rim like that. Before it dries, take your creepy cloth, grab a piece of it, press it into the glue there, and then you basically just roll it. And once you're rolling it, if you see, okay, that's how much I want, I don't want any more, I want it to really shine through like that, then you can. I'm just going to go all the way around on mine, because I don't have an orange one in my backyard right now. So then when you're done with your rolling, you will have a little bit left over. Take another thing of hot glue, kind of mark where it's going to kind of go there, and put another thing of hot glue on top of it there. Cool thing is you're going to cover all this anyways. You're going to cover the top edge anyways. So all that does is kind of, beware it's going to be hot. So you're going to keep your fingers there for a second to be hot. So you kind of just press it into that hot glue that was there. And so right now you hold it like that. So now, well, a little too slow. My hot glue is not sticking to that. But the stuff is sticking to the white glue as well. Once you are done with wrapping your creepy cloth around it, you're going to have this nice long train below it, and you're going to have, the white glue is going to hold it on there, and you're going to have the glue is going to hold it up here as well. So set that aside for a minute, because you're going to take the ring that came with it, the hanger, and you can see how it has this little part right here that but it fits together, and it actually fits inside like that, and it holds it and makes it a ring. So you want to keep the ring, you don't want to keep the hoop. So take your pliers and bend out the little eye, the little hook part of it. And just pull it apart so you disconnect the hoop from the ring. So you can throw that away, use it for another prop, whatever you want. So now you have just the ring itself. Now, so take that ring and put it on top of the orange. There we go. So you'll see how it's on that right there. You have to use your pliers to put it back on there, just so it's on the metal. It's probably going to be best to get on there before you put the crease cloth on. We got a little bit off of it, but you can just shove the crease cloth down a little bit and put it on there, and then. So now you have your rings on there. You're going to use the rings later. You're going to use your jute as a hanger on. So now you have your length of jute, however long you want it to be. You can make it super long. You can make it shorter. Basically, what you're doing is you're hiding the metal and the top of the creepy cloth. So take a little dab of your hot glue. And then stick the jute on there. And then just wind it around. Go underneath. Go on top of the hook. Go several times around. Trying to make it look more good. Don't go through the hook. You're going to go through the hook with stuff later. And that will hide a little bit of creepy cloth. You can see that way. Then once you've wrapped it all the way around, take a little more glue there, press it down, and your end disappears. So you got the creepy cloth around the edge like that. Remember, you have the ridges where the bottles, where the can top will sit. The jar top needs to be free of everything. So that is technically done. Now we need to cover the jar lid. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this. You don't have to take as much of the jute because you're only going to go around probably 4 or 5 times. But again, you can just cut it off, the excess. So you'll take your little bit of hot glue there. Hot glue. Press your jute. Jute is the funniest word. And then go around. This one you may want to put a couple extra dabs on of glue just because it's so smooth that the jute likes to move around a little bit. So like I'll go along and do, another one on top here so that I can. And if you do it tight, it should stay just fine. But if you find that it's easier just to put more dabs of glue as you go around, that's fine. There's no wrong way to do this part. As long as you're wrapping the whole lid. So you can't even see the lid anymore. Just the top of it you can. If you want to get really, really technical, or really artistic, you could even put a line of the jute like around the top of the rim there. Just to even hide that even more. Generally, these are probably going to be higher up than people would see the tops anyways, but that would be up to you if you want to do that. You know what? I will on this one, because that kind of sounds fun. This one you may need to put a couple more extra dabs of glue as you go around. So only glue it as you're going. So, yeah, it would be up to you if you want to do that, but you could also put a piece of jute on top of the rim as well to really hold it. So then, take your solar part, your excess little squeeze off. Take your solar part, pull the tab underneath there to get to your battery done, battery contact. And so now what you can do is, now that you see where your gap is of where the jute is, you can see like right here how I have a gap right there, kind of goes all the way around. I would take more jute now that you see that, and add another string or two around to cover that up. Now that you see where they meet. So now it's all covered. And like I said, you can go down even farther if you want. You can go up a little higher. You can just go above the metal rings, or you can go around it, whatever you want to do. So now, again, this would be another personal preference of how high you want these, or how low you want them to hang. It's always a good idea to always cut off more than you need so that you can adjust. Take one end, put it through the hoop, and tie it off with your favorite Boy or Girl Scout knot. And you can always take the end of it and glue it in. There. So then you have one inside like this, and then you can decide, okay, well, I want it to, this would fit, this tall. Okay, well, I don't want it that tall. I want it, I want it to be, this tall. So then you can just go like that. So okay, that's tall enough. Think about where you're going to put these. Like if you're going to put them like on your patio, if you have a wider overhang to where your hook would be or something, then you want them to be a little bit lower so they can catch the sun the majority of the day. But if you're going to put them like in a tree or on a post or something like that, have them vary in length, especially if you make more than one. And if you don't like the length of it, you have plenty of jute, so you just cut a new piece. There we go. So now you have a hanging lantern. Oh, look at this one. My daughter's been making one right along with us. Look at that. Look at that. So now that you have that done, now you have this cloth, but it looks all nice and, done. So now you have to rip this part up. So you take your scissors and make it straight so that you know where you're cutting and stuff. But then you basically just kind of go along and just kind of cut indiscriminately. And this is where if you really want the light to shine down below, then you may want to do less creepy cloth hanging down, because this will diffuse the light coming down. But it really doesn't shine down that much because the light itself is going up and down. As you can see, it doesn't really point down. If it's really dark, you'll be able to see it down the creepy cloth a little bit. Especially on the off-white creepy cloth, you'll see it. So now I've got, bits of it. And really, you can do this several times. Once you have it hanging in a spot, you might be like, oh, I want a little bit more. Also, the weather will do this to it. It'll actually grab pieces of this and make it longer and stuff. So now you've got a really, really creepy-looking bottom to it, I got this one purple. Look at that. See? Oh, there you go. You got this little hanging thing right here. What's that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But yeah, so now you have this, and then let's, I think, semi-darken the thing here. So, and I will hang these up tonight, and I'll add them to the video of them being on the back patio and what they look like. I like the orange ones. I don't know where we had an orange one on our patio. I don't know where it went. In our old house, but oh, it's Kayla's, right? Okay. So and we go. Oh, and here comes the purple one. So this one you can see more of the flame than in mine. That's because she only went around one time with it. So if you saw that you didn't like that, you can always add more creepy cloth to it, or you can leave it as the low amount like that. I like that because you can really see the flame in there. But that would be where your personal preference would come in, of how long or how much light you want them there to be seen through it. So
here's what the orange one looks like. Obviously, it's a little too dark to tell that it's orange on there, but it is orange. And over here is the purple one. So you can actually see more of the flame on this one. So, like we said, you can, your personal tastes.
There's your swamp lanterns. Super cool. Yay! And it's really, the Amazon has these in a package of 6, and if you get a package of creepy cloth, this, and most of us have glue and paper towels and scissors and hot glue guns. The only thing you may have to buy is jute wire, the jute rope, which that will last you forever. This I got like a long time ago. Still have tons of it. So buy a big thing of it, and you can make 6 of these for, I think these are like $36 for all 6 of them. So you can basically make 6 lanterns for under $50. So swamp lanterns with solar, easy solar, and these things last a very long time. Normally there's, these ones didn't have it, but watch out because sometimes they'll have a, an adhesive disc. Oh, nope, there is one on these. You can choose whether or not to take that off. I am actually going to do a test with this one. I'm going to leave that on because over time, this will get, it's getting sun on it all the time, that if this coating gets bad, you can take the coating off and now you have a whole new, what do you want to call it? Yeah.
Solar light.
Yeah. So you have a whole new base now that can get more sun again, and so it'll last even longer. So I'm gonna leave this one on, that little plastic stuff, but you can choose to take it off if you want to. It won't affect obviously the solar part of it. It will still collect the sun's rays that way. So go hang them up outside and they only take a couple hours of sunlight to charge for the majority of the evening, and away they go. So if you're going to have these in like a really creepy tree that is obviously going to shade out the sun all day long, take these down, put them in a sunny spot during the day, and then when you go to put them up for the evening or for your haunt, for Halloween, then you can put them in the tree then, and they'll light up all night, and they'll get all charged all day, and you can set them out when they're ready to go. But then after Halloween, put them on your patio, and they'll look really cool all year long. So Creepy Co-op solar lanterns, solar swamp lanterns. Done. Yeah. Right. I think that's cool. We did a good job. Now I have more for my patio.